Well, hello traders and investors. I'm LA Little and this is your daily NeoTA wrap. We take a look at these markets, doing it from a neoclassical perspective each time, asking ourselves what happened today, what does it tell us about the coming ones. I do a show 4 times a week, every Monday through Thursdays, broadcast at or before 10 o'clock Eastern Time, archived on YouTube and Soundwave channel LA Little. And if you want to subscribe, just reach up in the right-hand corner to do so. Anytime I push public content, you'll get a notification. Keeps you up to date, an easy way to stay there. As far as what happened today, it was a down day across the indexes. Not that much, a little bit of a pullback. You know, I was saying yesterday, ECB, we probably should expect some sort of a little try to push up this morning, and then we turn this thing around and bring it right back down, and that's kind of what happened. As far as overseas markets, Asia was up, Europe was up earlier, but then started to give it up on Draghi. The DAX did end up higher. Dollar down slightly, oil down a pretty good chunk. Gold and silver flipped around, popped back the other way, and bonds actually were down and then flipped around as well. So those things been out of favor. They're starting to get a little bit of a juice back into them. Those things have been in favor, starting to try to pull back a little bit. And what I want to show you here tonight is what you should expect the indexes to do. And I'm going to use the silver market to show you, and the reason I'm using it is because, you know, if you look at this market, in some ways very similar, right? ABCD structure up. This one actually, a lot of times is silver, gold. They do more than a 1-to-1 extension. This one did. Got up there, just hung, right? Hung, and then you started to drop it. What happens today? Volume comes right back in. They pop it straight back up. Folks, they're going to buy the first pullback. That's what they did on silver. When they do it on the markets, the equities, they're going to do the same thing, right? You're going to get some sort of a pullback. In this case, it was fairly obvious where it would try to pull back to. There was a little overlap here. That was one place it might try to pull back to, and that was what it did here. Gaps down, and where's the next place? Look at your volume bars. Right here at the bottom, that's where it went to, right? Trades right to it almost. Flips it around this morning as it tried to trade lower, and then boom, right back to the upside with gusto. I expect when you get the pullback on the markets, you'll see the same sort of situation on them. As far as looking at the markets, excuse me, let's take a look at the equity markets and how they look tonight. And although I told members to expect the 2-bar reversals on the NASDAQ, the NDX, and the Russell, not so much the Russell, the other two, and then an over-under on the Russell, it's not actually what we ended up with. Now, the S&P didn't even do it, right? It never got to yesterday's high, but volume was a little bit higher, and actually that's going to be the rub on the NASDAQ and the NDX. So if we look here, right, you've kind of got what you wanted, where you get over, back under, right, after an extended move. But the problem is the volume didn't cooperate. So in other words, you know, you get a move up, a little bit of hesitation, and then just another, you know, angle of ascent that's really not sustainable. But the volume ends up slightly higher tonight than it did yesterday. That says this thing can hang again. It's going to try to hang up there and test some more tomorrow. And it's the same thing on the NDX. And matter of fact, you got the over-under there. And if you go to the Russell, you got the same thing on the Russell, right? It goes over, under as well, and the Russell pushes more volume. So again, you know, what looked to be a setup for a pullback tomorrow now is more questionable, and it looks to me like another hang day instead. And so as we look at these markets and ask ourselves, what are they doing? What are they going to do? I don't see them giving it up yet. And although we are at a point where we're going to try, right? And matter of fact, if we look elsewhere, we can see the beginnings of that. It's not quite ready, at least not yet. At least it doesn't appear that way. When I say we see the beginnings of it, if we turn our attention to some other places like, here's some of the weaker ones like the transports, right? You can see how they're trying to roll over. The SOX has been extremely strong. The SOX today had a nice push, but Intel wasn't playing along. SOX gets over, let's see if it got over it, 101, actually didn't get to it. So the SOX is more like the S&P. But some of the others, like the basic materials, right, trying to roll back over. Energy, of course, has been weaker. That one's also trying to roll over. XLI, industrial's been pretty strong, also trying to roll over. Technology still holding up. We had the Microsoft news yesterday. That one held up. And the discretionary here also holding up. So you're seeing some of these sectors start to roll, but the ones that matter the most, discretionary, healthcare, technology, and financials, they're not giving it up yet. And as a result, I don't think we're going to see the equities quite yet at this point give it up. So that's where we stand. I'll be back on Sunday. We'll review what happens for the week and take a little bit longer view. But right now, it's the same story it has been, and that is that this market is not ready to roll. It's getting close, but it's not there yet. Have yourself a great one. Take care. Tell a friend if you wish. You know, there's all sorts of ways to link easily from YouTube. All you got to do is push a button or two. You can share it on Twitter. You can share it on any number of platforms. Let your friends know about us. I appreciate it in advance. Thank you. Have a great night, great weekend. I'll see you on Sunday night. Good night.